I'm Devin Henderson. I work for Pipe Wrench Plumbing. I am a plumbing service tech, and we are here for our membership yearly inspection. So we were going to inspect all the drains and water lines underneath their house. We're going to flush our water heater, check the elements, make sure that they're still good. We are going to go in the house and check all the drains, supply lines, stops, make sure there's no leaks there, make sure all the handles work, and make sure everything drains properly. We will flush all the toilets, check your flappers, check your fill valves, and make sure everything is working correctly. So we've come down to the basement and the water heater's inside. We're gonna flush the water heater, check her elements, then I'm gonna walk through and check all the drain piping and the water lines and look for leaks or suspect any leaks. That way we can show the customer and make her aware of any issues that she might have. So here we're gonna flush out the water heater to try to get any of the sediment that might have built up in the bottom of the tank. It'll break it up and get it out of the tank. That way it'll last quite a bit longer this way. We try to do this once a year. This one is only a 2-year water heater, so it's probably not gonna have much inside of it. And we will shut the power off so that I can take these access doors off, and we will check the elements and make sure they're reading right so that we know that the water heater is working properly while the tank is flushing. I think what's the nicest part of having a POM is having the security of somebody checking everything for you constantly. Not everybody crawls underneath every sink, checks every stop, checks your supply lines. Slow drip can lead to a lot of damage after a while when you know goes unnoticed. For instance, this lady has 2 water line leaks in her crawl space, and I guarantee there's not many customers that are crawling in their crawl space looking for water leaks. So it's our job to not necessarily sell you on anything, but it is to let you know what issues you have. So here we're checking the elements, making sure that they read good, because if they go bad, then it'll give us some crazy number or no number at all. And that is telling us that our element is good. So we've tested the elements, and now we're just putting everything back together so that I could turn the power back on and get her some hot water again. So now we're gonna go into the crawl space and check all of the drains, all the water lines, and look for leaks or any possible issues that she might have in the future, just to let the customer know. So when we come in a crawl space, we want to make sure everything is following correctly, make sure none of the PVC or drain piping has any leaks, which all of her drain piping looks good. It's all being hung really well, no droops, no bellies. I do notice that she's got copper water lines, so we like to take a look at them a little harder because they tend to start pinholing over time, especially as old as this house is. I think this is a 40, 50-year-old house. So we'll just walk through and check all of the water lines, look for any pinholes that she might not have seen, since again, nobody's gonna crawl into a crawl space. This one just happens to be really nice and we can walk in it. And we just trace down all the water lines, make sure everything looks good. And here we actually have a leak right here on this water line. And so we'll take pictures of this stuff and let the customer know. That way she can see it and not just take our word for it. If I can get it to take a picture. Okay, here. It's actually not a leak, it's some kind of sealant on that. That should be it for down here. All right, we're gonna go inside the house and check all of the drains on every sink, flush every toilet, check every tub, make sure all the handles work, the stops work, supply lines are not leaking, make sure everything's draining correctly, and make sure that everything's working for her. Pipe Wrench likes pictures, so we take pictures of everything. That way, if she has an issue in the future, we can look back at the pictures and see what we're dealing with before we get here. So we're just checking the water pressure to make sure her pressure reducing valve hasn't gone bad. It looked good when we were under there. It wasn't leaking, and it looked like it was fairly new, but it looks like it's doing just fine. So we've checked all of her water, all of her sewer. We've flushed the water heater, checked the elements. Everything looks good. She did have a leak on the kitchen sink, the basket strainer, and so we are going to try to get that taken care of for her. I'm going to build an option for her and see if she would like us to take care of it.